Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Welcome to episode 81 of the Fly Route Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony, aka Tony Playboy, aka Game Ball Tony, and I am here with the guys. Y'all got any AKAs for yourself?
AKA, let's get this Lamar Jackson contract done.
Hey, I got me something today, man. So y'all already know me. I'm AKA Twitter Street Baby, but I'm also the mac and cheese believer and no coordinator needed.
Oh, that's hard. I ain't gonna lie, that's hard.
This week, I'm Sam, a.k.a. Yankees swept the Mets. This isn't a baseball pod, but had to throw that out there.
And you trying to ruffle some feathers. You know they get real rowdy up north now.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. This week, we are going to be breaking down the AFC and NFC West, getting into a lot of the major news going around in the NBA and NFL. Keys, start us off with the news.
All right, so we had Shakeem Griffin retires. That was big news. It was shocking that he even was able to make the league. He has the arm that's like amputated, I would say.
It's like
his hand.
Yeah, his hand. Yeah, it's like his hand at the end. So, the fact he was able to even make the league was a big deal. He retired. The Ravens and Lamar still have no deal, like I stated at the beginning. I don't think this is a big deal for Lamar. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, it's just going to crush the Ravens' pockets. The longer they take to get it done, he could do the Kirk Cousins route, the Dak route, get tagged back to back, and then still have to get the bag. You know what I mean? So if he keeps you winning games and relevant each year, you tag him, you're still going to have to pay him. The way the team's structured, there's you're not going to move any pieces to get a quarterback of that caliber. Then we have Ronnie Stanley is going to enter the PUP list starting off the season, probably more than likely, which is a big concern because he's left tackle of the Ravens. They paid all their money to, and we just haven't been able to see him back right since the injury. Devonte Adams was talking super in-depth about his technique on the pivot route. He pretty much let dudes know there's no way you're going to cover me. You line up and react one way, I'm totally going to react the opposite way and do what I want to do. So that was pretty crazy to see.
That was dirty.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to give you all the secrets because even if you know and you try to play like you know the secrets, I'm going to just do what I was trying to pretend like I was doing the first time.
He said even if you open your hips up on the inside, he doesn't go over the top or go outside. He said if you cheat too much, like you're on top of him. Because he does that jerk at the line, like that
skip,
that skip,
like playing ball. And he's like, a lot of people say essentially like you're not supposed to do that. Like, and he's like, no, I do it every time. Because that they do say that because it gives the DB time to adjust to like, okay, I can get my hands on you, and he's way too big to get your hands on. Like there's no way you're getting your hands
fast too quick.
Yeah, between how good his release is and how big he is, it's not like I'm trying to think like an older what's his face that played for the Cowboys? What's his name?
Dez.
Oh,
Dez. Like older Dez, there's no release. He could just be physical with you, but you can press him, and then even if he tried to do that move, it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Him older, not young.
Fast.
yeah. Dez was never fast, but younger him, he would just bully you. You couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So that was crazy to see Devonte Adams talking about. Mike Gesicki is possibly getting moved, which I thought was super crazy.
That's big.
I guess in the scheme, from what I've read today, he doesn't fit the scheme that well because it's going to transition from him being such a dominant passing tight end to him blocking more in the new scheme with the new head coach. I mean, I get trying to get something for him, but there's no way I'm trading him because you got two speed demons on the outside. Even when you throw the ball, he's going to eat. Like unless you're saying, all right,
security blanket,
but he's not
going to beat a Kittle offense.
Yeah, it seems like they're going to line three wideouts, and then the running back's going out, and the tight end is staying in, and that makes sense because their offensive line's not great. So I get why maybe their scheme would have him stay in the block, but when that's not his primarily efficient thing to do, maybe you should probably put him in. I know it's really controversial to put tight ends in the slot if your name's not Darren Waller or Kyle Pitts, but if he's that big of an impact in the passing game, you might want to put him out there. And
they don't want to pay him. He on his tag.
Exactly.
So I think that's 100% why.
The long-term deal.
Yeah, and you don't want to
Have
give
to
him a deal. Yeah, he's on his tag. If you can get something back while he's on his tag, I get it.
Yeah, so that was
he could be a monster though if he get the mindset that he want to block, because we all know what he can do.
He ain't got to block. Travis Kelce is a monster. He is not out there blocking. He got that.
Travis Kelce be blocking. It's not the level of George Kittle blocking,
or
but
Gronk.
Travis Kelce blocking.
Gronk or
Yeah,
George Kittle,
he gets a lot of flack for people say he doesn't block. I think because people are trying to put him next to elite blockers because he's an elite pass catcher. There's rare tight ends like you have, George Kittle, Gronk, Shannon Sharp. Like there's only a couple dudes that were that big in the passing game that are really putting their hands on someone blocking. That's a rare thing to be able to do both. A fish like just as good as you do the other one. That's what I'm saying. So
is Travis Kelce a top 10 blocking tight end? Top 20?
I'd say he's French top 10 for sure.
Wow. I have to take a further look. I don't know.
If you're talking about, I'm talking about if you're talking about starting tight ends, because if you're saying like the backup tight end, I can say I'd take Nick Boyle blocking over Travis Kelce possibly. But if you're saying starting tight ends, then that's a different ballgame. He's beating out a dude that's starting. But if you're saying like the second tight end or the third tight end that might get rotated in for blocking schemes, then you're talking about a whole different game.
That's true.
Okay. Word. Anybody else got any news?
2 quick hitters from the NBA. The Nets and Kevin Durant have decided to extend their partnership despite rumors of possible trade turmoil this summer. That is how they announced it. They're also keeping their GM Sean Marks and their coach Steve Nash. So some sort of resolution there, I guess. They should be good if all of them play. And the second one is Thunder rookie second pick of this past draft, Chet Holmgren, is being evaluated for torn ligaments in his foot that he sustained in Jamal Crawford's pro-am on a play where he was trying to guard LeBron. So that's unfortunate, but hopefully he can recover well, and hopefully the x-rays / MRI come back negative and he can be back on the court soon. But yep, those are the 2 quick hitters from the NBA.
Hey, my boy need to eat some Wheaties, man. He too little.
He's gonna have to get in that weight room.
I don't think he's getting dudes when they're that big. I mean, even Dirk is not that like he's a little bit more thicker, but like he was a small dude. Pause, and then like Kevin Durant is super.
Why are we pausing on he was a small dude?
And then Kevin Durant is super frail, like I think.
But Giannis was frail when he got into the league, and Giannis got
that boy
buff. Boy got buff. He was not buff when he was skinny. Yeah. He looked more KD than he did.
I think Giannis Giannis did get buff, but he's just more toned up. Like he didn't get he just added muscle weight. You know what I mean? But he's still he's just filled out more. Like he's still small. Like if you look at like just him and not like
it's hard to be big as hell, rocked up when you're 7 feet tall.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm saying like he can only get as toned up as like Giannis, you know what I mean? And I don't think he's getting
that would be crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that's I don't think he's getting like that.
He could at least get to like Brandon Ingram level. Anthony Davis is another super string bean that bulked up. There are guys that have come into the league super skinny, and they've been fine filling out. He's also 19, 20 years old. He'll be fine.
Yeah, it's only going to be a problem like on mismatches or something, but if he's scoring on offense, like even Dirk was a mismatch on defense. Like when people would go down and score on that side.
Barbecue chicken.
But like the thing is, as long as you can go score on the other side and respectfully like attempt to play D, like Kevin wasn't that great at D starting off. His D's progressed way better now. I mean, now he's older, so he's not like locking people up. But that time when he was like with the Warriors, like when he first got there, he was actually playing defense. Like his later years at OKC, he was actually playing defense.
I think that's the biggest thing about Chet. Like Chet is already a plus defender, especially as a help defender. Yeah. Crazy. Like if you play him like kind of the similar way, he's not Giannis. I just want to say this before I say this. He's not
Giannis. Put him around
a
bunch of shooters and you say you're big.
And you let him play help side like Giannis does. So like Giannis is mostly like everybody gets mad when Giannis doesn't like take KD or somebody one-on-one because like you're both like 7-footers, but that's not his thing. But Giannis could also be MVP and Defensive Player of the Year because he's playing help defense, and he's like, if they get to the rim and pass you, I'm erasing the motherfuckers. And I think that's kind of Chet's thing, and that's where Chet can really shine early, especially on the defensive end of the ball. Not saying he's Giannis, but
Yeah,
same
he can
concept.
have that impact.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively.
All right. Let's run into the run pass option unless anybody got any news. Facts.
No,
The Fly Route Pod.
All right, let's get into the run pass option where we talk about some of the hottest storylines, and y'all let me know whether you are going to run with them or pass on them. All right, we're going to start with T.O. talking a little bit about this KD drama. All right, T.O. hype. All right, KD is backtracked on his trade request after getting none of the things he asked for and creating all of this drama. Is this a bad look for KD, T.O., run or pass?
I don't think so. I think he'll be able to. So I'm a pass because I think he can actually laminate, cement, whatever you want to say, his legacy this season for sure. So for me, I don't necessarily blame him. So you got a bunch of factors that pretty much led into this, I think, and which is why I don't blame him. So, I mean, for starters, he came to team up with Kyrie. We all know Kyrie. He's sometime, right? So out of shape Harden. We know that hammy ain't been right since he been 270. Then you got, at this point, a mentally unstable Ben Simmons who not posting, I'm ready and shit. Like, come on, man. Like, you ain't played in 2 years. And then Nash is a terrible coach. So name one play last season that the man called to get Kyrie or KD an open shot. You probably can't name one. So for me, I don't necessarily blame him. And then you got other things as well, just like we were talking, prior to the pod. So you got them moving Jared Allen, Kenny Atkinson, and a couple of other players that were on the roster when they first got there that could have honestly helped them compete and win a championship. So I don't blame him. I don't think it's a bad look on him.
Anybody feel differently?
I mean, I only feel differently in that I slightly do blame him. I'm a big Kevin Durant fan, but like a lot of the things that you just mentioned, we also talked about before the pod being kind of self-created. Like they demanded that Steve Nash be the coach. They demanded Kenny Atkinson not be the coach. They wanted James Harden instead of the depth that the organization had already built. So I'm like, I kind of understand where the Nets kind of look at Kevin Durant and they're like, we have you for 4 years. You have no leverage. You're complaining about things you created. We're not moving you. So get over it. And
I don't think it's a bad look, though.
I don't think it's the worst look ever. And I think people on Twitter are taking it way out of proportion. I think it's hilarious that he just keeps responding. Like if you go look at his tweets from today, he's just was responding to random people on Twitter all day, and they're like, bro, you always run from the grind, like your legacy is tarnished. And he's just like, I hope that brings you peace.
I don't see. I gotta go there. I gotta go there with that. People say the legacy's tarnished. I just want to bring this up. I know we're doing run past, but like his legacy ain't tarnished. Like if me and Terrence go to the open gym and they're like, "Hey, pick up your team," I'm gonna pick my cousin and then one of my homeboys that's good, and then somebody else and play with them. That's just a fact. That's just literally. You can look at
directly.
You can look at AAU. If you told me right now who I want to play with, look at AAU teams. They're stacked. Look at when dudes go to college. They're stacked. Like there's no difference. Like it doesn't matter that he went to Golden State. Him and Russ shouldn't have lost when they went up 3-1. That's the only thing that shouldn't have happened. They let that happen, and then he dipped. That's it. But that's both their faults. It's not one dude's fault more. It's the whole damn team.
Okay, fans, let's keep it moving. I have a surprise one for Sam. Tony Busby, who was representing all of the Deshaun Watson accusers, is now representing the man who claims Alvin Kamara assaulted him. Does this worry you about Alvin Kamara's upcoming season? Run or pass?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I got to just think that the cases are different, so the response is going to be different. I think the league will see that and see that there's a big difference between getting into a fight in an elevator versus having accusation of 24 women against you. So I think the league will see that, and I hope for the sake of the Saints, that this stuff keeps just getting pushed back until next year, and Kamara can just play out the full season. And hopefully the NFL doesn't feel the need to take any leap on action before it's handled out just in the legal system itself. So I think all the reports are that Kamara should be playing or should be on track to play this season, and that next season is when things might come into question. But it's a wild coincidence, and I mean that lawyer definitely is sort of clearly taken a stance of like wanting to help hold NFL players accountable and make a lot of money doing so. So, it doesn't worry me too much, but it is really interesting.
All right, let's go. I got one for you, Keith. Should Washington Commanders fans be very worried that Chase Young is starting the season on the PUP list? Run or pass?
Yeah, you got to run with that. This isn't, that last week when I just passed, didn't want to talk about it. You got to run with this because I'm pretty sure they're going to move Durant Payne, the defensive tackle, because they have the other defensive tackle under contract. I forget his name, but it's the one that punched him. So more than likely, he's going to get traded. They're going to run Montez Sweat at end with Chase, and they're going to pay Montez. But not having Chase and the impact that Chase makes on the game is a bit of a problem. And then there's that whole thing where people say Ohio State players get injured, just get a bag, get banged up, don't really play. Definitely don't want that to happen. I don't say that, but that's been a thing circulating on Twitter about, Ohio State players get banged up and then they just kind of don't do anything after they get the bag. But I think Chase is like a generational talent. He's going to help them stay relevant because their D-line is that they have the best D-line in the NFC. What is it? The least. So you got to consider that. All that together, you need him. Like him missing those 4 games, I get it. Like, because he tore his knee early in the year though, right? So
last season,
yeah, that's the thing that's kind of worrying. But some of these big dudes, it's harder to come back. Chase is a big dude. Chase 6'5". He's not no like 6'2", 6'3", and he's like 6'5". I want to say he's pushing like probably like 250 if I had to guess. So it's just you got to take your time with that. Can't rush nobody back, but I would be a little concerned. But if Wentz and that offense can just not turn the ball over, and the defense can play respectfully good like they normally do, it'll be okay because then he can just get back and wreak havoc.
All right. Last one, Sam. Another Saints question for you. Michael Thomas nursing a new hamstring injury. Is this a big concern for the Saints? Run or pass?
I'm going to run. It is a big concern, obviously, when a player of that caliber is dealing with something, but it's not as big of a concern as it would have been last year, given the additions of Jarvis and Chris Olave. So I think that if they have some weeks missing Mike Thomas, that the impact will obviously be felt. He'll be missed, but they should be able to weather the storm a little bit better this year because they've added where they needed to.
Okay. Vibes. I'm feeling that. Let's keep it moving and go right into the AFC West. All right. So we're going to break down the AFC West, talk about all the teams where they think they're going to be. I'm going to start with the Chargers. All right. And I'm really interested in this Chargers team because I feel like they have the ability to not only win the AFC West, they have the ability to obviously make the AFC Championship. Like this team is super stacked, right? Offensively, they bring back all those core guys that had an explosive offense last year with Austin Eckler getting like 20 TDs, Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, another year in that system together. I think all those guys should be playing quicker and playing even better. Defensively, I think they're even crazier defensively than they are offensively, man. Like you got Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa rushing, and on the back end, you have Derwin James and J.C. Jackson. Like, where is the gap? Where is the hole? It's like it's scary hours in L.A. I know there's a lot of
put one of them linebackers in coverage. That's going to be the hole.
All right. You ain't got a lot of time to throw that ball, though. Remember that.
That's a fact. You can mask it a little bit, honestly. I mean,
I'm saying what people are gonna do to them. Like they're gonna be insane. I don't think they're gonna be insane. But if they're weak spots or anything, it's linebacker, interior line, and then I'd go the other safety across from Dalvin, right? So or Derwin. So Derwin is either going to get the tight end or he's getting the receiver in the slot. That means if I go 4 wide or I go 3 wide, or no, it had to be 4 wide, or I put the tight end in bunch. That tight end on the other side or that slot dude that's not picked up by Derwin is probably getting off in that corner because Asante's probably going to go on the outside. JC. So there's going to be if the offense runs 4 routes, there's going to be 1 route that's open, or they're running back out the backfield.
You go 4 wide against that rush consistent?
I think you can. If you have, it depends who you have come out. I think if Khalil Mack drops in coverage, that's kind of he's okay in coverage, like near like close coverage. But if Joey's out there or like their backup linebackers behind them boys, you're definitely gonna feast a little bit. I'm not saying you're gonna just run wild on that defense, but if you're a good team, like those Bills teams, that Cincy team, the Chiefs team, like you're gonna play like a really good team on offense, then you're gonna have a problem.
The challenge for them, I think, is going to be stopping the run, like inside run. So, I mean, like we say, the holes at linebacker. So, I mean, I'm not sure if they're just going to be blitzing a lot, not trying to give you a lot of time because you can't double both ends.
No.
So that means, if we send an extra guy every time and try to lock everything up on the outside, what you gonna do?
Yeah, we saw the Bengals struggle with that in the Super Bowl.
Scary, bro.
Mm-hmm. What's up?
Nah, you just get so many people in the quarterback's face. Like Joey and Mac, one of them could be the double team here, like switching between getting the double.
You pick your poison, but
because you gotta think one of them is gonna be the double every now and then, right? But the one that's single is probably beating that every time.
I'm just saying that's nasty. There's a lot of talk about their 4th down approach and if it's going to look different. I honestly don't think it's going to look different because of how much trust they have in 10. Justin Herbert, I think you're able to see key moments late in the game where they'll probably play safer and trust their defense, especially now that their defense is just even better. Like Staley did a very good interview on this. And he's like, we really just have a whole system. Like, we work with our analytics guy and we walk into every game saying if we can get X and Y on 1st or 2nd down and it's 4th and whatever, we are always going for it. We like they said they are just always going for it unless Staley audibles out of it. Like they're walking into games going 4th and 4, we're going for it every 4th and 4 unless Staley tells us no. And I just think it got him in some trouble last year. They are. Staley out here saying we don't put it all. Like
I feel like you can't do that against good teams. Like even playing Madden, bro. You play a good ask Terrence when we play that franchise league, bro. If I play someone good, I'm taking the points. Like I'm kicking the field goal because the thing is, if you stop them, you're in good shape. Even if you don't stop them, you still got some type of points on the board. To throw up a goose egg and you can't stop them, man.
Yeah, I think that's the Staley will probably. I think he's the person that audibles out. I think he's going to learn from last year. Last year was his first time being a head coach. Yeah. He's probably going to have a little bit better in-game awareness of when to do it, when not to.
I do like first half, second half. Please kick it.
I do like the incorporation of new analytics and math just into the game, reevaluating what is a good play, what is too risky. I like it, Coach, just incorporating new ways of thinking about the game like that.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness, though. I definitely like it because it's just going to make it more exciting to watch. As long as they ain't getting their ass blown out.
If you but when you get blown out, that's the time that you kind of need to go for it on 4th.
Yeah, you got to put that goose egg because you ain't getting it on 4th, and then they turn around. Oh, we're on our own 30. If they even kicking field goals every time and you ain't scoring.
Yeah, that's facts. I think they're going to go 12-5. 12-5 is my record prediction for the Chargers. They went through their weeks. Week 1, they're playing the Raiders at home. I think that's a W. Week 2, they're playing the Chiefs at Arrowhead. Short turnaround on Thursday Night Football. I think that's an L. Week 3, Jags at home. W. Week 4, Texans on the road. W. Week 5, Browns on the road. W. Week 6, they're playing the Broncos, and I actually think they'll lose the first game to the Broncos. I just think Russell Wilson magic is going to happen at some point. I don't think they're going to sweep the Broncos this year. Week 7, Seahawks, easy clap. Week 8, their bye. Week 9 to get the Falcons, easy clap. Week 10 to get the 49ers at the 49ers. I think they'll win that game. Week 11, Chiefs. I think they'll beat the Chiefs. They'll be at home. They'll split with the Chiefs. Week 12, Cardinals, W. Week 13, Raiders, L, because they're at the Raiders. Week 14, Dolphins. They'll beat the Dolphins. They're at home. Week 15, Titans at home. They'll beat them. Week 16, at the Colts on Monday Night Football. I think the Colts steal that one. Week 17 versus the Rams. I think they'll lose that game. And then week 18 versus the Broncos. They'll beat the Broncos at the Broncos. So all of that culminates in them being 12-5. I feel like this team lost so many close games last year. They're due to learn from that and start closing out close games a lot better. All right. That was like nobody had any complaints about that one. I will take it. We got Sam with the Broncos. All right, tell us what you see going on with the Broncos.
So last year, Denver's record was 7-10. We've heard for the last couple of years that the really big missing piece from this team was a quarterback. For a long time, the speculation was that they would go out and try to get Aaron Rodgers because there was some discontent with him in the Packers. But they ended up jumping the gun and going and filling that void with Russell Wilson. Got him from the Seahawks, and that puts them in contention. I don't think they will win the division, but I think to compete to win the division. And it's crazy because I honestly think every team in this division is good enough to be in the playoffs or like win divisions if they were in other divisions. This division is crazy stacked. Every offense seems explosive. There's different variations on defense and offensive lines and things like that. But like from quarterback and skill position perspective, every offense in this division just seems crazy on paper. So I think the Broncos are in for a big jump. I think they've done a really good job filling that void with someone like Russell Wilson, who's a proven winner. And I think that they will improve their record this year to 11-6. So I don't have them winning the division. I agree. I think the Chargers are actually going to win this division this year and knock off the Chiefs' supremacy over the division, or what has been. To go through week by week in the record, I have them winning their first 2 games against the Seahawks and the Texans, and then losing week 3 against the 49ers. Then I have them bouncing back and winning at the Raiders week 4.
Hold on one second. You're cutting out a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Let me just unplug real quick.
Kobe Bryant Day. It's 8:24, folks.
Testing.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm not sure exactly where I left off, but I think it was week 4. I have them winning at the Raiders. So they're starting out 3-1 in my book, and then week 5 versus the Colts at home, I have them winning. Week 6, we actually both have them splitting in the Chargers series. Anthony, we just have them in different games. So I have the Broncos losing week 6. And then winning week 7 against the Jets, winning week 8 against the Jaguars. They have their bye week 9, and then I have them winning coming off the bye at Tennessee week 10. Then
it's happening.
Say that again.
Is it just for me or is it for everybody?
That's for everybody.
It's cutting out.
Yeah, your mic is cutting out again, Playboy.
How about now?
Perfect.
You're good right now.
I don't know what you did.
I think the cord was on my leg, and I was like bobbing my foot up and down as I was talking.
Okay.
I think that's what I think that's what it was. So I have them winning week 10 at Tennessee, coming off their bye, and then week 11 I have them losing to the Raiders. Week 12 at Carolina. I have them winning. Week 13 at
All right, bro. Your shit
Baltimore.
just tripping. I'm sorry.
Let Sam
Yeah.
just tell you the record, and then we just
just let it. Like you told us, the total record was 11-6, right?
Yeah, 11-6. I have them losing against the Rams and Kansas City, and then a win against the Chargers to close it out. So that's where we were different on the split. But yeah.
All right. Can Russ be an MVP this season?
I don't think he can. I think he'll be really good and that they will take a big step in terms of team success. I just think there's other guys and other quarterbacks that are going to have bigger years. Some of those being, I think Josh Allen's going to have a bigger year. I think especially if the contract doesn't get sorted out, Lamar is going to have a bigger year because he's playing for betting on himself. And I think Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert could both also have bigger years. So I don't think he'll be MVP, but I think he'll be elite, top 10, close to top 5 like he always is.
All right. Are you taking the over or under on Pat Surtain on 5.5 interceptions?
Man. Vegas is so good. I feel like that's such a perfect line.
Vegas is Keys.
All right, Keys, I see you.
Vegas need to hire me.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to say he gets 5.
I don't know. I'd say I gotta take the over because they're scheduled like you listed, and then just the ball's gonna be in the air in his division. Like it's not gonna be on the ground. Like the best team I can think that's gonna put the ball on the ground, Chiefs are gonna run a little bit more, and then the Raiders are putting the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
Even with Austin Eckler, the Chargers are just gonna play action, boot him somewhere, or just roll him out in the passing game. So I just feel like he's gonna get so many chances at getting an interception. And I'm not saying someone's going to throw at him every chance. I'm saying tips. If he's in a zone, he jumps a route. It can happen. You saw it with Diggs.
Yo, Diggs was different. And I think Pat Surtain is actually a better corner than Diggs.
Yeah. Diggs' ball skills are unmatched. He only got a couple people playing the ball like that. But I think Surtain plays the ball pretty good, and he's a better overall corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. More physical.
Okay. We got what's up?
That's it. No, he says he's more physical. I was like, yeah, he's a big body, just like 6'2", 6'3", I think.
All right, we got Keys with the reigning AFC champions. Like they've been winning this shit before Patrick Mahomes was ever playing with Alex Smith, right? Like that's how long they've been running the AFC West. Let us know what you got going on with the Chiefs in a season where they probably have the most questions ever in the last half decade.
All right, so I got the Chiefs at 11-6. I feel like in this division, there's probably gonna be a lot of 11-6. Just between everybody will probably split. I don't even know if there's someone that shuts someone out. So I got them at 11-6. There's a lot of spicy talk about Patrick Mahomes, old teammate, saying anything. I think Tyreek's just trying to boost to his confidence. I think Sammy could be on to something with Aaron just because Sammy's played with a bunch of quarterbacks. Like he ain't just played with Mahomes, but I'm saying the only 2 elite ones he's played with has been Mahomes and Aaron. So you can see there could be like subtle differences, you know what I mean? Like maybe Aaron has, he has more like velocity on the ball. Mahomes probably at this point in his career throws it further, but Aaron probably still has it. Aaron gets the ball there pretty quick, like effortlessly quick. So you have that. But I mean, if you're talking about if it was young Aaron and young Mahomes, like prime, I don't know who I'm taking. I'm gonna be real honest because that's a real good question on who you're gonna take at that point. But now, obviously, you're probably going Mahomes. He's just the face of the league easily, and he has a good year in and year out. For who's gonna take over for the running responsibility of this team, have a breakout year at running back. I don't think it's gonna be Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's a fact. I think it might be Rojo because of his speed. He might have an impact, but I don't even know if that's safe to say. I would say they probably might even look at getting a running back at some point this season, whether it's via trade or something. Like not for Zeke's contract, but say if Zeke got released or something, maybe you'd go there. Maybe you would try Gibson, but I wouldn't try Gibson, another young dude that's underperforming, because you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire and you have Rojo. But if someone can, one of those running backs, huh?
I think they're good there because they still have McKinnon as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they're good at running back.
It's like running back by committee, but like normally people have running back by committee, and there's at least one dominant running back. Like when
I just think because they all bring skills to the table, it's like you can't, you can start Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but then it's like you got this tank in Rojo who you got to feed this man.
Two of them got fumbling problems. The two you just that's the what I'm saying. The two you just named have fumbling problems. So that's the only issue I have with it. Because in Tampa, that's what got Rojo in the dark. He probably would have if he didn't fumble. Who's to say Lenny really gets in the game that much if Rojo's not fumbling based off the speed difference and just how they run? Like obviously Lenny's more physical, but his speed is something you can't teach.
Be laughing when you get contact.
Yeah, so I just think they're gonna have an answer at that. What else? Can this team make the AFC Championship without Tyreek? I think so. They've made it back to back. I don't think it's abnormal if they can get there. I think it's a safe bet to say they can definitely get there. I think there's going to be a lot of Juju getting moved around all over the field. He did that with the Steelers. I mean, Andy Reid's super crafty. He's probably going to do that with him. I'm going to be interested to see what the rookie Sky Moore does. Someone who I don't know what his 40 time is, but I noticed on Madden he was only like a 90-something speed, which was crazy. I thought he was a dumb burner, not super fast, but I'm gonna interested to see what what Andy Reid does with him. That'll be some interesting to see how fast he has him.
4.41.
Yeah, that's fast. So they'll probably have jet sweeps for him, or he'll even line up in the backfield. Travis Kelce, of course, is gonna eat. Maybe they're a team that goes and gets Mike Gesicki. And then you pair him with Travis. Then you got your bridge for when Travis hangs it up. So honestly, that actually sounds crazy. I would do that.
You could run into tight ends.
You could also honestly at this point, the next person that gets Mike Gesicki should probably just convert him into a wideout. Just let him play outside. You can play him in the slot if you want to, but you can just let him play outside. He runs routes like a receiver, and if his blocking is I think the only problem is his speed's not that. But I feel like in that Chiefs offense, he how crafty they are, different rubs, the play action, the boots. Him not blocking that well might not be a big thing because he could be the one that blocks for a little bit and then releases. You know what I mean? When you do that,
tight end sets, I think.
Mike Gesicki won a 4.5. 4.5 40 was Mike Gesicki's 40. 4.54.
But how old is he? That could have been like 4 years ago.
I mean, it might be 4 years ago, but do you think he's lost that many steps?
I mean, you can gain weight at tight end to you're hitting the DNs all the time. It's not like receiver. Like
the complaint is he ain't hitting them hard enough.
I definitely think the Chiefs will get back. That's a no-brainer. I just think they're getting back there is going to be a challenge. It's not going to be. I think the last couple of years maybe it's been easy, or it hasn't been too much of the difficulty. But you got to think that Tyreek Hill is why they went to the AFC Championship. There's no one on that team that's getting down the field that quick and making that many people miss to get you in field goal range or get a touchdown. Like they don't have that dude anymore. So how does that look in those pressure situations when people play 3 back and you got to get that go-ahead touchdown? It's not like, that's the difference because with Rodgers, he's always had a bigger receiver.
That's tough for me to say they get back, honestly, because
I just feel like it's hard to bet against them. Like it is like to go back to back to back to
but
back.
The AFC is so deep. It's so deep.
I asked Sam this question.
It's just too deep. I think without Tyreek now, because Patrick, you gotta remember Patrick Mahomes does a lot of improvising. And then, Tyreek Hill, 80 yards down the field.
But Travis hit those too.
Yeah, people don't know. Like, he hits Tyreek on those.
Yeah.
But it's normally, like, short plays. The ones where he's really improvising and hits someone, it's normally Travis. Like, Tyreek, he sees Tyreek. He's like, here. But
how many targets he got last year?
Who?
Like, Travis got like, it was something dumb.
I'm talking about Tyreek Hill got like 160 or something. So
somewhere around.
That's a lot of targets to
redistribute.
They go now.
Yeah, I say Juju probably. You can only throw the ball to Juju probably like 90 times, maybe. That's just me. And I don't even
intermediate routes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm throwing the ball 90 times to him. You got Sky Moore. They lost Ross, the rookie from Clemson. He's out. They got Josh Gordon. They still have him. Maybe, he lost a lot of valuable years, but maybe he can do something productive in that offense.
I think they're thinking
Marquise Marquez.
He's a deep threat, but he has problems dropping the ball.
Yeah.
What's the other receiver name that they had?
Sky Moore's the rookie they got.
No,
McCole Hardman.
McCole Hardman. I think they probably thinking that maybe
he a burner too.
But he was been supposed to take the lead the last couple of years. Like they were all betting
when they let go of Sammy Watkins. He was supposed to step
that's
up
why they were so
role.
comfortable letting go of Sammy. Like, okay, Sammy don't stay on the field. We have Hardman. Maybe Hardman just takes the next leap, and he hasn't. So honestly, I'd bet on any other receiver except Hardman taking the leap. Like I'd even go Juju because I just can't bet on McCole. Like he's always had someone on the other side of him and hasn't really took that massive leap. And I don't think he's trash. Like he's good, but it's just like they need him to be like not Tyreek, but a version of something of that, like something next to that.
All right, this is the question I presented Sam last week. He answered the field, but I'm gonna ask you two. AFC, the winner of the AFC. Are you taking the Chiefs or are you taking the field?
I'm gonna take the field.
Like coming out,
it's hard to bet against
the championship.
Either or, to win the AFC or to even win the AFC championship. Are you taking the Chiefs or the field?
I'll take the field because I'm saying the Chiefs are going to get there. I'll take the field on whoever they play. Because I think they run that back against the Bills. They're not winning that shit. They run it back against, like, you're going to say Tyreek Hill's not there for you to go all the way down the field?
Look, I hear you.
Yeah, it's just.
Who you taking, Ant?
Oh, I'm taking the field, but I thought the Chargers were going to win the division. So, like, yeah. All right, T.O. got the Raiders. Oh, no, you didn't give us the record prediction yet. Sorry.
I did record 11-6.
Oh, my bad. All right. Raiders, T.O., where you at?
So, man, I got them going, just to start off, I got them going either 12-5 or 13-4. So, I got them splitting with everybody in the division because there's no way that they're beating everybody twice. It's just too much competition. The only other loss.
Raiders. And you got the Raiders, so that's the only team you can like.
Week 1, I got them taking the L to the Chargers. Then I got them beating the Cardinals, Titans, losing to the Broncos. I got them beating the Chiefs. Yeah, I remember the Chiefs started off 2-3 last year as well. So maybe they get off to a slow start again. Texans, Saints, Jags, Colts, Broncos, Seahawks. Then I got them beating the Chargers this time.
You got them beating the Colts?
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor? With Gilly and Kellen Moore?
Listen, it's tough.
Hey,
it's
who
tough.
locking up Tato?
No, I don't think neither
You
one.
gonna put Gilly? You gonna put Kenny on there? Who locking up Tay?
I'm saying they can throw them at Tay and be like, "Hey, we're gonna try to limit Tay to under 9 and make 9 receptions or 9 targets and make you beat us with someone else." Because let's be honest,
honestly, we ain't gonna sleep on Renfro. Who even gonna lock him up? Because that man gets off.
They got another corner. I just can't think of it. They got one more corner.
Okay, then who locking up Darren Waller?
More.
There's no answer for Darren Moore.
All right, so you said they got one more guy. They got 2 more weapons.
The only person
but the thing is,
what compete is Darius Leonard.
But what if they don't? Oh yeah, Darius Leonard can cover him, like not deep.
No linebackers are covering Darren Waller.
I mean, 1-on-1, I don't know, but
with help, maybe with help.
With help, yes.
Yeah.
But then
I'm saying,
so you putting Tay 1-on-1 now? You gave Darren help. You putting Tay 1-on-1 now?
I'm saying I put Tay 1-on-1 with Gilly. I would live with it. With Gilly, I'd live with it. If Gilly's there, if Gilly's healthy, like Gilly goes in the season, he's healthy. I go, you know what, Gilly, he's yours. He tortures you. He just tortures you. But the thing is, if they're torching him, Indy's just gonna slow the game down and run the ball. That's where I'm saying, like, I don't think because with their line to see DeForest Buckner and the Unako Gonwe or whatever, the left outside linebacker that played for Baltimore, I can't say his name, so sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But between him, DeForest Buckner, and I think Glover at the other side of the defensive tackle, with having a bad offensive line, I think that's a problem. Granted, you got route technicians at receiver, but like you're increasing the chance that a corner could possibly jump a route because it's going to be an intermediate throw.
So at worst, they'd probably be like 11-6 like everybody else. But then you have the Rams. I got them taking the L. And then versus us, I honestly like us beating them just based off of Bill Belichick track record. Okay. Hey, listen. Come on with it. Bring the smoke, bro. Bring the smoke.
I'm glad everybody was thinking about it. Everybody just said.
Listen, y'all gonna get a glimpse this week. Y'all gonna get a glimpse this week because we're playing them in the preseason this week.
It wasn't just me. Everybody else said.
Joint practices all of it.
What?
Listen, okay.
Everybody saying what? How y'all putting up the points to stay with them with
I
no
swear
offensive
to God.
coordinator?
That's deep in the season. That was part of my AKA. No
Y'all gonna
coordinator.
have an offensive coordinator by there?
We don't listen. We won a Super Bowl with no defense coordinator.
Yeah, they did rock with Bell, just call the calls.
Yeah,
I just
but that's
think
because Belichick is defense.
Yeah, I think
is.
it hurts. It the offensive coordinator thing on a tangent. It hurts Max.
I believe we went without an offensive coordinator as well before. I'm trying to remember.
I'm just saying with Tom Brady, it's not a big deal. With Mac Jones at this point, it hurts. If Mac was like 5 years in, and you said, "Hey, you know what, Belichick, you're gonna like we don't know who's
I can
calling
agree with that.
That's different. But with a young dude, who had a pretty solid first year, and you were gonna build off of that to just be like, hey, we're gonna switch everything around. We didn't get you a number one receiver. The dude, we got you. He can be healthy, cannot be healthy, but he's solid if he's out there. He doesn't get any separation, so you're still throwing in the tight windows.
I got you. So then we got I got them beating the Steelers and the Niners, and then losing to the Chiefs at the end. So
Okay.
11-6 at worst, 13-4 at best, I think.
13-4.
Okay, so you wouldn't be shocked if they made the playoffs, clearly. Is Josh
So-
Smith-Daniels finally going to succeed as a head coach in the NFL?
I think so. I mean, he's set up for success with this team. Like,
Was he not before with the Broncos?
He was.
with Tebow at quarterback,
And you know what Devonte Adams said though? He said he's been doing good coaching them, like Josh McDaniels. He said on Pivot, he's been coaching them good. He's like he's been on them, but like he said, even Devonte Adams said, like with everything that's happened, like what do you expect him to do? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. I mean, he's definitely came out and said it too. Like the Broncos, like he just wasn't. I don't think he was ready for that at that time. Yeah. But now, honestly, he's been groomed. Like, let's think about teams that have been wanting to pluck him away from the Patriots for past couple of years, and then he had that pump fake. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be your head coach.
Honestly, bro, if this doesn't work though, he might just be one of those dudes that could just really just be a dominant offensive coordinator. Like he might, if it doesn't work at this time, like he should not get another head coaching job because I'm still watching.
Going to.
I'm still watching.
He definitely will. Hey, listen, if Urban Meyer can get a job on ESPN.
I'm watching Eric B.
You best believe Josh McDaniels gonna get another job.
I'm watching.
Hey, you don't understand how pissed I was when I saw that shit. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
I'm watching Eric the enemy live through his damn ghost in the past and not get a head job, which is insane.
That's wild.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they made the playoffs. But the crazy thing is, like, with how loaded this division is, I also wouldn't be surprised if they missed the playoffs. So it's like it's just up in the air at this point. We got to see what everybody does. Injuries.
They're the likely miss out of the. If I pick somebody, they're the likely miss because the offensive line, defensive line, like their defensive line on the outside is great. Chandler Jones, Max. Inside, that leaves a little bit the desired. They have a good left tackle with Carlton Miller, I think his name. But then everybody else on that offensive line you're like, whoa, what are we doing? So
the thing is, he's been putting up,
insane numbers with that line. But it's because they've had Josh Jacobs. So Josh Jacobs,
he's still there.
He's still there.
He's still there. If he can snap, then you play.
Nobody loading the box. You ain't loading the box against Tay, Renfro, and Darren Waller.
You can't.
So yeah. I like that. All right, let's roll down to the NFC West. We're gonna start with Keese, who has the Seahawks. This is a season of all seasons for Pete Carroll.
Goddamn ridiculous. At best they're 4-13. Okay, at best. Like I was picking these games and I was like, bro, I don't know because they don't have a quarterback. They've lost pieces on defense. DJ Reader went to the Jets. Jamal Adams should be a linebacker. They had to convert Jordan Brooks, their left outside linebacker, the middle outside linebacker, because Bobby is playing for the Rams now. So you're like, okay, there's all that going on. Offensively, you lost Russell, and you're replacing them with Drew Lock and Geno Smith. Okay, please call the Vikings and go get Kellen Mond or go get Tyrod Taylor, or you can beg the Ravens for Tyler Huntley. Either one. All three of them people, I would take over the two people they have.
I'm even taking Jimmy G over.
There's something up with Kellen Mond, bro. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, bro, the Vikings just got another quarterback.
And I gave homeboy, what was his name that just got fired? The head coach there before.
I don't know.
Mike Zimmer, right?
Mike Zimmer. Yeah, I gave Mike Zimmer a lot of flack for starting Sean Mannion over Kellen Mond in that one game.
Me too.
Right?
Me too.
But now that Kevin O'Connell's there, he's an offensive coach. He knows how to talk to quarterbacks to get these going. And there's still a lot of question marks around Kellen Mond. Maybe Mike Zimmer deserves a couple apologies. I'll be the first.
I don't think he deserves no apologies. I'm just, what is wrong with Kellen Mond that he's not like?
Yeah, we ain't seen it.
Well, if there's something wrong, Mike Zimmer knew what was going on.
Maybe to shut everybody up. Hey, listen, put him out there.
Yeah,
put him out there.
Seattle doesn't have no answers at that. They got the left tackle out of Mississippi, which I think is an improvement on the line, obviously, because they lost to Wayne Brown. He went to the Jets, funny enough.
Charles Cross.
Charles Cross. Is it Charles Cross? Yeah, out of Mississippi, it's Charles Cross. They got Tyler Lockett, DK. That's it.
They still got some weapons on the offensive side.
It's like the meme of the Ferrari in the shack. And the Ferrari is all their weapons, and the Shaq is the quarterback.
Hear me out.
O-line, etc.
Hear me out. The thing is, they're betting on they can get a quarterback next year. I'm guessing they're, if they don't get a quarterback this year from somebody, they're going to go, okay, well, next year we can get a quarterback in the draft. Well, newsflash, you're still going to have to develop that quarterback. So I feel like you should have did the hard reality check and just hit the hard reset button on a rebuild. That's just me. I would have just been like, you know what, we got to fucking rebuild. Sell everybody. You can still get rid of DK. Someone's still going to take his contract. You just
could say they capped though. They ain't even have to do all that. Probably.
Exactly, because now he's a dead hit. Probably if you trade him too soon. So you have that. That's why I think they should be rebuilding. I don't think you should be trying to stay competitive. Pete Carroll's old. You should have been got rid of Pete Carroll. It is time to rebuild.
We got that chewing that gum, don't it?
Yeah, bro. Man, be chewing the gum, forgetting what goddamn down it is. Your boy ran your superstar quarterback out of town. So there's that.
Shoot, defense too. Earl Thomas on the way out.
Exactly. Everybody left. Everybody. Yeah. You gotta think everybody leaving that is borderline Hall of Fame. Well, shit, all those players are probably going to the Hall of Fame. Earl Thomas hurt his chance, but he's probably still going. The thing is,
Earl Thomas will probably get blackballed. Let's just be honest. With all the stuff that he keeps doing.
They hold Bobby Wagner too.
Okay, what he keeps doing. The instance of what happened is not enough for him to not get blackballed, but what keeps going on in the weeds, maybe. But so you had that. The other thing is, would you move Jamal Adams to linebacker? I would. I mean, control Diggs back there and maybe get another safety somewhere. I would leave him in the bag. I mean, I would move him to backer with Jordan Brooks. I just feel like that is probably his natural position. Like, I know he's an animal.
He can't cover though.
He's the bottom. Like, there's 32 teams. He's part of that 25 through 32 in coverage, or 20 through 32 in coverage. Like, he ain't 1 through 15 in coverage. So it's just like, I'd rather be a faster, hard hitting linebacker because he plays the run really well.
He does.
He can play the pass in zone, but the problem is people just run them out the zone and make them have to lock up in man. Then you have that issue. So I would just put him at linebacker. But that's just me. That's what's looking forward to the Seahawks. Yeah, no.
Question.
What's up?
Who you got them beating? That's what I need.
Here, hold on.
Yes.
I'll not lie to you. And can you say schedule out loud real quick?
For the Seahawks?
Yeah. I'll let Ann do it.
While we do that real quick, so we all know the Seahawks can't win this division. Who do y'all have coming out of the NFC West?
Bang, bang, Niner gang, I guess. Gotta be.
Over the Rams?
The Rams ain't got a left tackle, y'all.
Look, I just asked you. I mean,
who's the left tackle when you got Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, OBJ want to go back?
The niggas that's going to save Matthew Stafford from getting sacked.
I put the running back. Help.
Cam Akers is like 5'5". He ain't helping.
Sam, who would you
They
take?
got Darrell Henderson.
I got the Rams.
Yeah.
I think I got the Rams winning the division.
Yeah, same.
I mean, it's not. I'm not saying the Rams can't win the division. I'm just taking bang bang Niner game.
Hey,
No, I don't dislike that at all. Even with a rookie quarterback or first year starter quarterback fully starting, I think the Niners are just always putting themselves in the conversation.
Because the Cards ain't doing it.
No, I don't
No
think
one
so.
said the Cardinals.
All right, let me hear the schedule because Terrence
All
wants
right.
to hear who we beat.
Week 1, they got Denver.
No,
at home.
Russ is gonna dog
I'm
walk.
gonna just hold this up the whole time.
Hey, yo, week 2, 49ers.
No dog walk.
Week 3, Atlanta at home.
I think this was one of their wins. Yeah, so we'll count that as a win.
Okay. Week 4, they got the Falcons at home. Sorry. Next week is 4. It's the Lions on the road.
They're getting beat by the Lions.
Saints at home.
Getting walked.
Cardinals.
Getting
at
walked.
home. Chargers on the road.
Definitely getting walked.
Giants at home.
This is a win.
Wow. I don't think so. The Giants are actually better than people think, but they're still not good. Cardinals on the road.
Getting walked.
Did you just contradict yourself in your own statement? But
Look, there's levels to this. Tampa Bay in Germany.
Good luck against Tom. Getting walked.
they might put up 100.
Okay, Vegas at home.
Getting walked.
Rams on the road.
Getting walked.
Panthers at home.
I think I said they could possibly win this one.
All right. 49ers at home.
Getting walked.
Chiefs at
Getting
the
walked.
road. Jets at home.
That's 4.
Rams at home.
Getting walked.
Okay.
Okay,
Those are
that's
his
a
four.
potential.
Those are his 4. I mean, hey, that's solid. He meant it. He meant
That's
it.
probably like 3 and an if, or 3
An
and a
impossible. 3 and impossible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like 3 and a possible. Yeah.
They'll beat the Giants. The Giants are gonna have Danny Dimes throwing, and then if Saquon Barkley isn't like fully rolling at that point, I feel like he's gonna have a bounce back year. But at some point, Daniel Jones is putting the ball in the fucking air.
He fumbled.
Yeah,
He gonna
exactly,
he do
bro.
everything to get the ball to the other team.
It's a fumble. It's a pick. And Cordell Diggs will definitely get a pick, so he'll definitely throw one.
Okay. All right. Look, that's solid. You had that. All right. Let's actually go to Sam and the Cardinals, who none of us have faith in winning the NFC East. It sounds like. Okay. So it sounds like this actually leads you to my first question before you get into the record prediction. Maybe not this year, but is Kyler Murray the guy to take this team to the promised land?
I mean, I'm not going to predict they're going to win a Super Bowl with Kyler Murray or anything, but I think he is a franchise centerpiece. He'll live up to the contract, and the hate he's getting on social media is funny, but probably unwarranted. I think the biggest concern people kind of have is they're sick of seeing him look like an MVP the first 2-3 weeks of the season and then falling off after that. So I think he will show sustained consistency and live up to the contract. I don't think that this team is going to be competing to win the division this year. I have them ending up 9-8, so actually taking a bit of a step back from where they were last year. They won 11 games, but just going through the schedule, I think there's possibly a route to be 10-7. I also think there's a route to be 8-9 with some of these games that could flip either way, honestly. So week 1, they play Kansas City. I got them losing that game. Week 2, they play at Vegas. I got them losing that game. A lot of people are going to be.
You're doing the thing again.
Every time I get into reading the record.
You might as well not read the record this way.
Honestly, yeah, I just let that one go, Playboy. It's okay. So instead of going through the record, Hollywood Brown made a lot of a stink. not about Lamar Jackson, but it seemed to be more highly directed at Greg Roman and his offense and how it limits the ability for wide receivers to shine. Do you think in the air raid offense with a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, Hollywood Brown is a lock for a breakout season?
I think he's a lock for a breakout season, at least up until the point DeAndre Hopkins comes back, and then he might have some of his production eaten into. But I think he will look just a lot better. One thing Keese has highlighted a lot in this season of the pod is his improvement in not dropping the ball as much. And I think just with more opportunity, airing it out more, he'll take advantage of those from the work he's been putting in. I think his numbers will end up looking probably a lot better.
Yeah, that trio with Randall Moore and Kyler Murray and Marquise Brown, the 5'10" under club, they probably gonna snap.
You know, that's a much nicer way to put it than you put it last week.
Oh. they are small, man.
Honestly, I was trying to figure out what the hell they were doing. I'm like, why would they go get?
It makes
when they got Rondale Moore
with Nuke and Ertz though.
Like it does, yeah.
Yeah, when you have them, it makes a lot of sense. But them first 6 games with just Ertz as the big body, I don't know.
They got the one tall receiver.
Oh no, they got AJ Green still. So there you go. They still got AJ.
Finally signed?
Yeah,
they got
he's back
somebody
on the
else too,
roster.
though. Ain't it like a Johnson or something? What's his name?
I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But with AJ and
But he's
Ertz,
decent though. He's a big receiver. I cannot think of anything off the top of my head.
with AJ and Ertz, they can still make it shake. I mean, I didn't know that like Marquise is 5'9", and then Rondale Moore is 5'9". Kyler is maybe 5'9", 5'10". So that's just
there's not another big guy that I know of on that roster. They also got Andy Isabella, who's also 5'9".
Yeah.
They are actually
they're
mad
all
heavy. Yeah, they are heavy on the 5'9" club. They got Javonte Payton, who I think is a rookie coming out of Tennessee, who is 6 foot, and I think they got Antoine Wesley.
That's what I'm thinking about.
6'4".
See, that's what I'm talking about. He had a decent outing or decent showing last year.
the difference.
Last year he had 208 yards. And
But
He had a decent showing. He caught how many touchdowns?
The thing
He
is,
had a decent showing last year. Good catches. I remember.
Nuke and Kyler is what opens that offense up. So with no Nuke, I don't think that offense is getting opened as insane as it gets open. Because the field's so open because Nuke commands at least 2 people, or like there's a group of people that are like, okay, there's Nuke. You know what I mean? So you saw what he did on that Hail Mary with the Bills.
That shit was insane. That shit.
Bills got
a Jordan deal.
Bro, the Bills got a top 3 secondary. That's the crazier thing. Them boys need their ass whooped for that.
That shit was insane.
That's crazy. I had the Rams, and for the Rams, I had the Rams doing quite well. Cam Akers, I think, is going to do well. I think he's going to have a very good season, but I'm not sure that it's huge. They're going to use Darrell Henderson a lot, and the team is going to throw the ball significantly more than they run it, right? And his ability to catch, even though he has a pass catching back, is just going to be limited because they have a much deeper wide receiver room than they did last year, especially if OBJ comes back. And the questions around the offensive line make me question Cam Akers' ability to really get off, because the left tackle is important, especially in that scheme. They run the wide zone, outside zone scheme. That left tackle is supposed to create the edge for him to get out, and unless he's cutting back in between the guards a lot, that's going to be a problem.
Blocking. That's what he's going to be doing. Helping the left tackle.
Yes, I agree. So I think it's just going to be some limits on that. I think the Rams will go 11-6, and I think that's pretty good for them. I think it's just because they might start a little shaky figuring out that offensive line against full speed game competition. So week 1, they play the Bills. I think they'll lose that game. Week 2, they'll dub on the Falcons. Week 3, I think they'll lose to the Cardinals, even though they are not as good as the Cardinals. Just the Cardinals start hot, every year until
I had the
kinda-
Cardinals winning that game too.
Okay,
on my schedule thing. Yep.
Yeah, the Cardinals always start hot, especially when they're doing all their things and tricks, and then people get to see them a little bit more. The offense slows down later on in the year. Week 4, I have them beating the 49ers. Week 5, beating the Cowboys. Week 6, beating the Panthers. Week 7 is their bye. Week 8, I think they'll lose to the 49ers. I don't think they'll sweep them. I just think the 49ers historically beat the shit out the Rams. like the Rams just happened to get the game that mattered last year. But historically, Kyle Shanahan has his foot on McVay's throat. Week 9, yeah, it's true. He does. Yo, if you want to pull up the numbers, they are bad for McVay. He got the one that mattered though last year, and that's big. Week 9, I think they'll beat the Bucks. Week 10, I think they'll beat the Cardinals. Week 11, I think they'll lose to the Saints. I think the Saints are a team that plays up to competition and they win games against better teams frequently. Week 12, I think they'll lose to the Chiefs. Week 13, they'll dub the Seahawks. 14, they'll beat the Raiders. 15, they'll beat the Packers. Week 16, I had them losing to Russ and the Broncos on a short week. Week 17, I have them beating the Chargers. And week 18, I have them, of course, beating the Seahawks twice. I do think this Rams team can repeat. They have a harder schedule this year, and the new pieces will have to gel and come on. But once they're in those playoff games, like, I don't care what you say. This is an offense that I don't think anybody can shut down with McVay's scheme. You got Cooper Kupp on one side. You got Allen Robinson on the other side of him, and who knows what will happen with OBJ, especially later on into the season when the playoffs start coming up and it really starts to matter. So this is not a team I think you can stop from putting points on the board, and if that's the case, I think it's a team that definitely has the potential to repeat. I wouldn't put money on it right now. Like, I will say the odds are plus 1,000. So if you bet $100, you will win $1,000 on the Rams winning the Super Bowl.
Not a bad look.
Yeah, it's not a bad look. I'm just saying their win total is also 10.5. So I would bet the over on that personally. I have them at 11 right now. So those are just my feelings on the Rams. I think last we got T.O., right? And T.O., of course, has the Niners, Bang Bang Niners game, right? What do you expect from Trey Lance this season?
So for me, honestly, I expect to see flashes from Lance this year. But honestly, this might shock y'all. I don't really see them having the success that everyone is imagining them to have. I honestly think they're really going to miss Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo is a proven, obviously, starter, a proven winner in this league. And I mean, from what we saw of Trey Lance, like I said, he can have some flashes, but then when it's bad, it's bad. So, like I said, I think they're going to have a lot of explosive plays. Like, they're going to be a fun team to watch based on the weapons they have and the versatility. But
So you
honestly,
play,
I just don't see them having the –
You play Jimmy?
Yes.
You got to let Trey eventually – like, Trey has to get his, first 2 Josh Allen years. You know what I mean? Really talented, big guy from a conference that's not as deep or as competitive, but has all the tools, needs to just work on the mechanics and clean things up. Eventually, Trey Lance has to have his Josh Allen took 2 years to really come on, right?
Yeah.
Trey Lance has to eventually play to get that experience to become that player that he's supposed to become.
Josh took 2 years just because I think 1 year he didn't have
They put all this pressure on themselves.
They didn't
Brian
have
Dable.
They didn't have Dable and he didn't have Diggs yet. But with Trey's gonna have all of that kind of already there. I think you keep Jimmy. I don't think you get rid of Jimmy, but you definitely
pay him too much.
You can't let him go for dog water. I mean,
at this point, you strapped yourself because you paid him all this money, and then you went and drafted his replacement or whatever, number 3 overall. So it's like,
but you either gonna get capital back or you are going to get off his money. You're not gonna get both at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I said, there's gonna be some growing pains for me personally. I think, like I said, you're definitely gonna see a lot of flashes of old, like when he had the deep stripe, the gray. last week or the week before. Money. I mean, but when it ain't looking good, it's like, okay, you can tell, he needs some polishing. But I mean, he definitely does have the raw talent. You can definitely see that. As far as the record goes, honestly, I got them going 8-9 or 9-8. So, but listen to this though.
Okay.
So, sorry, Ant. Bears, I got them beating y'all first game. Seahawks, dub. Broncos, L. Rams. This year, I think the Rams gonna get them this year. L, right? Panthers, dub. I think they beat the Falcons. Lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Rams, lose to the Chargers. I think they beat the Cardinals here. Beat the Saints, lose to the Dolphins, the Bucks.
Lose to the
beat
Dolphins.
The Seahawks again.
I do think the same thing.
Lose to the Dolphins, beat the Saints with that D line.
What are you talking about?
Like you think they're gonna lose to the Dolphins, but beat the Saints.
That's interesting.
I think so.
I didn't think about that.
So. So then you have the Seahawks as a dub, Commander a dub, Raiders and Cardinals L's at the end.
Okay, that didn't sound as crazy as I thought it would when you said it at first.
Yeah, there's
but I feel like
two mix-ups in it. I think there's only two additional wins they might have. I would say so. That's not far off. Like
that
plus
puts them at 10-7.
Yeah, plus or minus at 2, it gives them 10-7 at worst and 11-6 at best. Because he got
10-7 at best and like 8-9 at worst.
Yeah, he got them 8-9, 9-8. So yeah, I mean, it don't sound super crazy. I just think that Dolphins if they beat the Saints, I think they definitely beat the Dolphins. Because I mean, you're just at that point you're saying, all right, well, because Nick Bosa getting there, he getting there on that line.
I mean, I feel like it's in a sense it's two different kind of teams as well at the same time though. Yeah, you got like with the Dolphins, you got somebody who just came from there as well. So it's not like he don't know what they're doing as well.
That's a fact.
So
you gotta stop it though.
You do have
you got to stop it on the other side, and now it's Tyreek.
Hey, no, but the crazy thing is he doesn't know what that offense looks like with Trey.
Come again. Come again.
No, you guys are right. You guys are right about that. But he doesn't know what the offense looks like with Trey Lance. Granted,
I think they started installing that stuff last year for him to practice.
They did.
All right. Well,
I just think it's going to be growing pains.
The Dolphins with Tyreek is going to look completely different. I mean,
know y'all got to remember the only game that's pretty much a lock for the Saints to be locked in is against the Bucks. If it ain't the Bucks, you know what I'm saying?
Or the Packers, the way they was pushing them in.
They're going to get one against the Bucks.
Bro, they beat the shit out of the Packers.
So I'm saying, like, I can see the Niners taking that one against the Saints, honestly, because it's still question marks at quarterback for them as well. So we know that's huge. Obviously, Jameis is going to be the guy coming off injuries and then hurting his foot. So not being potentially the same type of quarterback, not as mobile.
He wasn't really a mobile guy anyway.
He wasn't, but he can move a little bit.
He can.
Like, that was a big part of his game. It was a big part of his game.
His game has all been arm strength, always. Arm strength and no accuracy.
Scrambling is definitely a part of his game for sure.
Okay.
Extending plays and scrambling, I feel like, are part of his game. But also with Debo, will he still be playing wide back this season? I definitely think so. But I don't think he's going to play as much. And here's the reason I say I don't think he plays as much. So y'all got to remember, this is a business, right? So they put this in his contract that over the life of his contract, he can make almost $2 million based off his rushing yards and touchdowns. So now that they put that in the contract, you're like, all right, now listen. You know how they make that call? Yeah, don't give him no more rushes. Don't give him no more. He can't rush this touchdown in. So for me, it's politics.
I'm saying, do you think they did that because for the politics side of it, or do you think they did that because Debo has said if they're going to use me like that?
He definitely said that. That's going to make them not use him as much doing it because we know we got to pay you $2 million if you reach these, or if you get 400, whatever the yardage
Hey, I
is.
feel like
touchdown.
they put that shit in there like, hey, bitch, we're doing it. If you score, you score. But we definitely because he
We
looked
doing
crazy.
it. We'll pay for it.
He looked crazy at wide back, bro. He lined up in the
He
back.
do.
I'm like, bro, is he gonna catch a route? Is he gonna run?
Oh, wow.
So we're like, what do? You know what I mean? Because
It is crazy though.
As a defense,
But-
you're like, bro, how do I cover this?
Well, for me, I just think it's just like. For me, I just think now that they put it in the contract, I feel like they're gonna try to home a little more than they did before. Because this was before the contract extension as well.
Yeah.
So now that they paying this man now what $58 million guaranteed or whatever. So now this man finna get paid. And listen, you don't got to hit these incentives. Show us we paid you. Show us what you can do as our.
But I don't think he wants to hit those incentives. Like personally, I think they there because he don't want to hit them because he don't want to be used in that way. But as long as they,
I think he like it because he getting the ball.
He could get the ball as a receiver too. I think that's what he's saying. He's
It's a
like, I had 1,400 receiving yards last year. I could get the ball as a receiver.
But some of them yards came from out the backfield, but it's a little harder.
As a receiver, screen passes are fine. They won't count towards the thing. Like he had 1,400 receiving yards, not rushing yards, not total yards, just receiving yards. And some of that might be screen passes, and I feel like they might put him in some more screen action just because of all this stuff. But no, he had 1,400 catching the ball.
He's gonna be a lot. Used as a decoy a lot too.
I don't know how many yards he really gets at wideout, just because I don't think he's a super spectacular wideout. I don't think he's
He's just an athlete.
Yeah, I just don't know what you would classify him at wideout because to me he's not a top 10 wideout.
He's just an athlete.
He's maybe top 15. He's definitely top 20, but he's not top 10. So then
he wants to prove that
his worth.
I really want to play receiver, and that's why, I think that's in there because I don't mind getting the ball. Obviously, I'm a football player who don't like getting the ball in the hands. But at the same time, he wants to be a true receiver. And so putting those incentives in the contract is also going to make them be like, yeah, nigga, we finna pass you the ball.
Man, Peter said he the only one here. Hello, Peter. Might be a little late. He might not even be there.
Yeah. All right, bet. So that's our NFC West final segment of the show, the heart of the show, Ballers Bouquet. Too often in the media, people only want to focus on the negative and salacious things athletes do. But here, we like to make a change. And recently, there's been a lot of negativity coming out of Cleveland for good reason. But today, we want to highlight some of the positive. So this week's Ballers Bouquet goes to Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns. He hosted a back-to-school event where 200 kids were able to come through, have the opportunity to meet with him, take pictures, have a little time. The kids also received Reebok-sponsored backpacks with school supplies such as notebooks, pens, and pencils. Garrett recently signed a deal with Reebok. He's a Reebok-sponsored athlete, so he's using some of that clout of power to give back. They also got lunch boxes provided by the Browns as well as the Cleveland Cavaliers during the time where the kids were with them and out with the Browns during this event. They offered them free haircuts from Gentleman's Cave Luxury Barbers Lounge, free entertainment, and snacks and food. So they were fed all the days that they were there. Want to highlight something like this where, somebody's giving back, giving kids an opportunity to spend some time with some athletes, notice who they are, see them, and, see the people you look up to and understand, I can be just like them. And also,
always through all the controversy as well.
Yes. So I want to highlight that because there's been a lot of negativity going on around the Browns, but Myles Garrett is changing some of the narrative surrounding the team. And that's
rightfully so. A lot of negativity.
Hey, I said that the first time.
But fun fact though, he actually did something that I thought was pretty stand up. Other than for the kids, he was talking about the matchup against Baker week 1. He's like, there's no added motivation like he used to be my teammate. There's no bad. He pretty much saying there's no bad blood. Like if I can help my team by getting sacks, it's like obviously I'm gonna get sacks. But there's no hey, I'm playing Baker. Let me get
no animosity towards him. Man.
Yeah, which I thought that was dope because people are making more out of that situation. Like Baker's issue probably with the front office and the head coach more than beefing with any of them. I just feel like
I mean,
I thought that
he's
was
unstoppable anyway, so he ain't have to say. I'm
yeah.
gonna go out
I
here
felt like
and
that
sack
was
him 2 times.
I felt like that was dumb to just say that and not throw him like
Thought you was
Baker.
gonna do that anyway.
Yeah, throw Baker under the mud when in all reality we know he gonna get a sack. Like it's not like he ain't getting a fucking sack. It's just
Yeah, I mean that's a given.
yeah, it
You
was
didn't
nice
even have
that
to say that.
he wasn't being an asshole. I mean, he could have been an
I'm
asshole, but it was just
gonna do
nice.
that
Like,
anyway.
like, yo, he used to be my teammate. He's my fucking friend. Like, that was just, pretty cool.
Facts. All right. All right. So that's the end of the pod. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, no matter where you're tuning in, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, etc. All of y'all, thank you. We will be live again next week at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, every week going forward. And we love it when you all join us, and we appreciate y'all and cannot wait to give you all episode 82 next week.
The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly
Regular
Route
season
Pod.
starting in 2 weeks.
Yep, that's facts.